Okay, so last session I was just telling you about the files. Okay, we're telling you how to handle the files. Basically, we talked about reading the data from a file. We discussed it. For that, we used a class called the filereader class, so which is a part of the IO package. Okay, then similarly, we have one more class is there. The filewriter class we are having. We have a class called the filewriter. So this class called the filewriter will help me to write the content to the file. Write the content to the file. So when I want to write some content to the file, I can make use of a class called the filewriter class can be use of it. Okay. So let's see how we are going to do it. So I'll make use of the same package, same class I'm making use of it. The only thing is here we want to have the filewriter. So the filewriter. So I'll be using an object called FW. It's equal to new filewriter. So filewriter is a class which will help me to write the content to the file. When I want to I want to write the content, I need to tell into which file I'm going to write the content there. So I like to give my file as, okay, data.txt, I'm writing it, right? So I'm using a file name called data.txt, I'm using it. Now inside this file, so you want to write the content now you want to write. So when you want to write the content, so for the filewriter class, we have a method available called write, we are having it. We have a method called write. We have the method called write. Okay, this method called write will take different arguments it will take for me. Like if you want to write the am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so we are talking about the filewriter class. So filewriter class will help me to write the contents to a file. Now when I want to write the content to the file, I'll be using a method called write method. I'll be using it. Now I want to fix, we said that it's a part of the IO package, Control Shift and O I'm using it. It just fixes me the import statement is going to be automatically, it added for me. Okay. Then, so when I'm going to have this write method is going to be there. So I want to write the data. Let's say, for example, data.txt. Now, let us say into this one, I'm writing a message called huddle rise. Okay, I'm writing a message called huddle rise. After that, I want to close my file. I'll call the close method. I'm calling it. When I'm calling my close method, then it's going to close my file there. Okay. Why it's still it says, I think it's going to have me the IO exception. You have to handle it. So what I do is I'll write the try block. So one method is writing the try block. What is the alternate method? So we have the one method is I'll make use of my try block. Okay, then I'll write the catch for this. Right? So I'll be writing the exception is my base class. I'll allow it to handle by my base class. Okay. So you have some message is going to be there that you want to print it on screen. So I want to print that message onto the screen. So I'll be writing system.out.println. So I just want to print the message. I'll just call the EE, I'm calling it, the object there. Okay, this is one method. So let's run the program. I'll just execute my code now. So it's going to be opening my file and then it writes the contents and then the file is automatically closed. Okay. No message is given to you. So what is happening? The content, what you're writing, what you call the huddle rise, this content is returned to the file and then the file is automatically closed after that. Now, if I want to see the content, so that is that I need to open my file called data.txt file. I have to open it. So where is my file is present called data.txt? Where is this file is present for me? No. Right. It will be there for me in my workspace. So followed with, so we have given the package there, already package is there, com.holidays. This is my package name. Remember, internally when you look into your system, it will be creating the folder structure will be created. Com, one folder will be there. Okay, holidays will be the another folder, it will be creating it. Inside that, you'll be having that file, what you call it as data.txt file will be there for us. Let's look into that. So what is the name of my, this you can see on top there. You can see this path on the top there. It is travel guide, src, com, holidays, tourist.java. This is my file there. Okay. So which is my, it's a travel guide for me. So this is the package, right? So this is my source. This is my com.holidays. Now here is my file. Now I want to go to this particular file. I mean, location, I want to find out my location. One simple thing is give a right click on this one, then select the properties. So you select the properties. So as soon as you select the properties, now here it is going to give me the location, complete location it's going to give me. That is the complete path it is. Okay. This is your complete path. So either you copy it and go there, or what you can do is you can just click on this button. Okay. So when I click on this button, so this will show me the folder location. It shows me the location of my folder. Now you just click on this. So it's already opened the Explorer. Click on this one. Now you see that the file is there for you there. The tourist file is there. Okay. So tourist, com, holidays. That file is not there. Okay. So you see that there is a file now created, what you call data this. Now I want to see the content of it. You just give a right click and then you can say open with notepad, you can say. So once I say this open with notepad, you can see the file content will be there in that. So huddle rise is there. Okay. Understood? I'll just close this. I'll leave this one open. I'll not change anything there. I'll just click on cancel there. Okay. Understood what I did there? So how I opened it. So I went to my properties of my file. Then I selected show my the system file explorer. I'm asking to show the system explorer. The file explorer I'm asking to show. Then I'm going to select my the source folder. But this is my package name. I'm selecting it. As soon as I select my package name, there you can see that the file is there called data.txt file will be there. Right? Okay. So this is one method. This is one method of doing things. So I'm using my filereader class. Okay, and remember in the filereader class, we said that we have the method called write method, we had it. Okay, so yeah, so this we are having a method called write method. So it takes the data for me. This will help me to write the content, or you call it as data, to the file for us. Okay, so it's always a good practice is to close the file once it has been, your work has been done. That is what we call the transactions have been completed. You have been always the best practice is to close the file. Similarly, like you're going to use your mobile, right? So once your work is over, what do you do? You now let us say you're making a call. So after making a call, what you people will do? You will disconnect the call or you will end the call there, right? Similarly here also, so we are going to use the concept called close. where it is going to close my file there. Okay, so this is closes the file. Okay, right. Yeah.
Only text data and asking the PDF.
There is a different type of file it is. Okay. So the other way we'll now use it. We'll use throws now. Okay. So no, I don't want to handle the exception now. I want to throw the exception. That is, I'll say that I want to ignore that exception. So then I'm writing throws there. I'm removing all these things. Earlier, you okay. Now I'm saying that my exceptions are not going to be handled. I'm going to throw them. That means I'm going to ignore them. Okay, throws. So what exception that you're going to throw? I'll just say throws exception only. I'm writing it. So you can see now again the file is going to be created for it's executed. So this is the another method. So how you are going to write your throws you are going to use. So either you use throws exception or I want to work with my IO exception, I'm going to use it. Now, generally, when I'm going to use my write method, when I'm going to use, it is going to throw only IO exception is going to throw for me. Specific exception I want to catch, you can say throws IO exception, you can write. Exception is the base class. IO exception is this subclass. So you can write like this or that way. Now, when I'm writing this IO exception, so the import you have to write there because IO exception is a part of the package called IO package. So that I'm fixing that problem. Okay. Understood? Now, let us say we want to write a small program we want to write where I read the numbers from the user. Okay, let's say you want to read 10 numbers and then I want to write to the file now. How we do it? I want to read a number. What we do? Very good. So when you want to read a number, you can call the scanner class. Okay, some object I'm writing obj. It's equal to new scanner class. Okay, we know that scanner class takes the in as the argument for me. So in as the argument means you are asking to read the data from the device called keyboard there. Okay, it is associated with keyboard. In is an object which is associated with keyboard. So when I say system.in, it will read the data from me from the keyboard. It is going to read it. Okay, so when I want to read it, so I'll just take some variable. Okay, n I will take it. It's equal to sc dot next enter. Okay, obj we are taken. Right, obj dot int. Right, when I say next int, it will read the integer value for me. Now that integer value, I want to write it onto my file. Then instead of writing huddle raise, I will take the variable called n there. N variable I'm using it. When I'm using n there, it will write that number will be there for me. Okay, so I'll save this file. Now let us run the code and check what is going to happen now. I've just executed my code. So when I'm executing it, it's waiting for me to type a number. I'm giving a number 100, enter I press. Now this data it will be writing it to my file and comes out of it. So let us see. So I want to open my file there. I will open my file and check. So just I'm giving a double click on this. You see that it's writing my ASCII value. So I want to write the character I want to write. So if I want to write the character, integer it should write for me. What is wrong with this?
We don't need a text for this line.
We have to print that. We didn't print that set. So here you can use a message. Then, so you can give a message, type a number or enter a number. So now it will give the message, type a number. So I'll type the number 90 there and I press enter. See that the number is being written there. Now it's writing the ASCII's there. So I want to convert it to number, then I want to quite reading characters. Okay, let me write 100. D only it is writing. It is writing characters. The right method, if you look in, so we have multiple methods are there. So which you see that now integer char is there, integer C is there.
Right.
It's not writing my integer value there.
మనం క్యాన్ తీసుకున్నాం కదా సార్ వెయిట్ క్యాన్ తీసుకున్నాం అంటే 100 బిగా మార్క్స్ ఒకసారి ఇంటి తీసుకోండి సార్
Already int only it is there, no?
కాదు సార్ మనం క్యాన్ తీసుకున్నాం సార్ ఫస్ట్ రైట్ మెథడ్ ని క్యాన్ తీసుకున్నాం.
These are called the overloaded methods, right? Write is a method which is there overloaded for me. Multiple methods are going to be there. So what is the argument? What is the data that you are giving? Based on that, automatically it will be selecting a different character, different functions is going to select for me. So we have different functions are there, write methods. So we have write char is there, write int c is there, write string is there. Okay, all that are there. So what is happening? Automatically it's going to take me the second method it will be taking for me. So because we are giving a integer value for that one. So what will happen? Automatically it will be calling the second method it will call. If I'm writing a string, if I'm going to have a string, then it automatically call the third one. Understood? So like that, based upon the data that we are going to give, automatically it will be selecting a different method it's going to select for us.
So one method,
Oh,
get numeric value.
get
Numeric value.
why get numeric value?
The character not in
So we want to write a number to the file. Why it is not writing the number to the file? Somewhere mistake. I'm just giving a message now. Data return to file. Why it is? What is wrong with that? Okay, we'll see that. Okay, what is the problem exactly? We'll understand that. Now this, what I'm doing, I'm reading only one number from the user and then I'm writing to the file. Now let us say that you want to write multiple numbers, some 10 or 15 numbers you want to write onto the file. Then you have to take multiple variables, you have to do it. Or so what you can do, you can repeat the same process of reading the number and writing, you can repeat it. So repeat n number of times. So how many times you want to repeat? Let's say you want to repeat 10 numbers I want to write. Okay. So you understand what I want to do? So I want to write 10 numbers now. 10 different numbers. Okay, that is the different numbers means this is going to be my user input. So user is going to give me the input for me. So what the user is going to give the different inputs, right? So that I want to write to my file. Then what we can do? So you want to read from the user 10 numbers, right? So simply what you do is you take a loop there. Okay, I'll take some variable x is equal to 0 to or from 1 onwards, x less than or equal to 10. 10 numbers I want to have it. So I'm writing x plus plus. Okay, so it read one number, then it write it to the file. Okay, again it will repeat the process. So it will be reading one number, second number, third number, each and every number it will be reading it, and then it will be writing to my file. Then once you're completing it, then I'm just giving a message data return to file, and then it is closed. The file is closed for me. Okay, let's run this and check. So it asks me to type a number, first number, second number, okay, third number. So data is written to my file. Now let us go back to the file and check now, double click. Now you see that it's going to have all the characters are there for me. But the problem is we are not able to write properly the numbers, we are not able to write. Now, okay, and one more thing is I want to have, okay, so to avoid the problem, what I'll do is right now, I'll not write the numbers, I'll not write. I want to write some names, okay, student names you want to write. So I want to write okay, 10 student names. Okay, to file I want to write. So these names, what we do is we'll take the user input. Understood? We'll take the student input, we'll take. So instead of using the integer, I'll take the string. Okay, and I'm taking it. Now when I'm going to use the names, I will take the next method, I'll be calling it. So when I say next method, it's going to write what? It's going to read a string value for me, and that I want to write to my file. Okay. Now after this, I want to have a new line character to be there. So each and okay, before that, let us see this the output, then we'll discuss. So if you want to have the data file called data.txt, you can use the same name, or I want to have the file name called student.txt. I'm writing a file called student.txt. I'm creating it there. So let's run. That asks me the okay. So we should have given a message, enter the name. Fine. So I'll just give the name Apple. Okay. Some name. Okay, data is returned to file then. Let's go back. So we have the file called student.txt there. Now you see that the names what I have written, all the names are there for me. So what is happening? All the names it is going to write one by one. So next to next it is writing it. But I want to have a differentiation. I want to write one name and another name in next line I want to have it. Then what you can do is, so instead of writing just there, so I'll change the message. I'll give type a name. Okay, so this name, I want to write it, and then I want to move the cursor to the next line. The next data that I'm going to have it, that I'll be writing into the next line. For that, I'm making use of \n there. Okay, I'm using now, so \n. So what is the use of this \n? This is the new line character. It's my new line character. Okay, \n is called a new line character. So let's run. Now, for the testing purpose, I'll not take 10 names, I'll take only some 3 names, I'll take. Understood? So earlier we had the names, right? So some names we had like Apple and all that, right? Okay. So now I'll run my code. I'll give some other names now, right? Okay. So AAA, I'm giving it. BBB, CCC, I'll give. Now it said data return to file. Now let's go back to the file. Then double click on my file. You see now you're getting it. So what happened to the previous data? It is erased for me. Okay, the previous data what we're having it is erased for me. So what is happening now is, now important thing one has to remember is when I'm opening my file using the filereader class, okay, it is going to overwrite the contents. If the file is already existing for me, so that file contents are going to be erased, a new file is going to be created for me when I'm going to use my filereader class. Okay. Understood? I'll just do one thing. I'll format my source. Okay. So here what we did, so we wanted to have, for testing purpose, we have taken only 3 names only we have taken it. We have not taken the 10 names. Understood this? If I'm using next line, what is that? It reads more than one word. It read for you. When I'm using next line, it read more than one word. It will be reading it. Okay. So there again, backslash n will not be reading. I mean, it will not read the backslash n. So backslash n, you have to add it manually. You have to add it to your text. Understood here? You have to have the backslash n has to be written. Okay, let us use the backslash. Sorry, next line. Okay. So I'll run my code. So names it last name. Now I'll give the name Apple. Okay. Now it's been written for us. Now I'll open my file. Let us see the situation where we are not using the backslash n. I'm not using my backslash n. I'm not using it. Next line will read this space. Okay. Right. It's written to file. Now I'm not using backslash n there. So let's open our file. Right. Understood? It's not there. So you have to manually add the, so backslash n has to be added manually. So backslash n, so that is my new line character. You have to add that new line character, you have to add it. Understood? Okay. Go fine. So here, the first part of the program, what we are doing is we are writing the data to the file now. So you want to read the content, what is there in that one, and I want to print on screen. Then
Read.
so you can call the file reader class can be called in to read the content of your file there. So the first part, what we are doing, so we are writing the content. Okay. So here what we did. So this part we are writing the content to the file. So then after writing it, also I want to print the data from the file. Now I want to print the data from the file. Okay. So if I want to read the data from the file, what we can do, we can make it of the file reader class will be using it. Okay, some object name, I'll use a name called fr here. It's equal to new file reader class, I'm calling it. So when I'm going to call the file reader class, I need to give the name of my file. My name of my file is student.txt. I'm giving it. Okay. So after reading the file, after opening the file, so we have to read the content from that particular file we have to read, right? So what do you do? So you'll use the scanner class will be using it. Now instead of using now file reader, so what I do is I'll use the file object f is equal to new file. I'll say this, and then I'll give the file name as student.txt. So this will use as an argument to my scanner class. Scanner class, I'll take, okay. Scanner, okay, obj, so we have taken it right already, fine. Now, I'll take my scanner class. Already we have used a variable called obj there. It's equal to new scanner. No, we'll give what? The object f now as the argument. So before I open it, I want to make sure that I'll close my file there. So I'll say obj.close. I'll close my scanner class also, I'm closing it. Then I'm reopening my scanner class. Okay, then I want to read the content of my file. Okay, then what we do is, so how to read the content of the file? Obj.next will be calling it. So when you say next, it's going to read some content, it's going to read for me. Let's see what is going to happen. Dot close. Then, so the file object dot close. Okay. So now this has to be fixed. The import has to be fixed for me, right? I'm fixing the import, that is IO file package, file writer, IO exception, and then I'm writing my scanner class. All it's been done for me. So it's going to read the content. So once after reading the content, I want to print the content on the screen now. So then I'll say read that and put into the variable called n is equal to, then I want to print that content what we read from the file has to be displayed onto my screen there. So system.out.println, that object data is n there. So I'm asking to print the value of n over there. So let's run and check. What is that? N we have variable cannot. Okay, fine. So what we did the mistake is the variable is there inside the block there. I'll do one thing. I'll cut off this variable from there. I'll put on top of my code. Okay. Then I'll use here n is equal to, so that I don't have to declare it once again for me. So without declaring it, we are going to use the variable directly there. Now let's see. So it'll ask me 3 names. It'll ask me. Okay. Right. Now it's going to write the data. So after writing it, what is happening? It is reading only one. The first name only it has read for me. The other 2 it has not read. Why it has not read the other 2 means because we are asking the scanner class to read only one value. So if I want to read multiple values to be read, then so we should do what? Looping has to be done for us. Okay. So we need to do the looping part. So that means this you have to repeat for multiple times. So while of this one, okay. So let me show you this once again. Now one more name I want to have it. Then what you need to do? Again, you have to call the method. You have to call it again. You have to call if you want one more name. So let's see what is going to. It will get me 2 or 3 now. So I'm just giving QW ALZMM. Now you see it's going to read 2 names for me. Now you want one more name, then what you have to do? You have to repeat it again. So you remember previously we did what? So we didn't do that method. What we did, we placed it in a loop. So where we started reading all the values one by one, we started reading the values, right? So automatically we asked it to repeat itself. Okay. So that method you can apply it here. Okay. So like this, you can apply the previous method, what we have done, reading up to the end of the file, we read that. So now you can try that one, okay? So you write or you want me to write? Try it now that we have written already, the code has been written, that you can copy and paste it here, that code for repeating multiple times. Now remember, so we said what scanner class will help me to read the data from either from the file or from the keyboard. So if you want to read the data from the keyboard, you have to write system.in. If you want to read the data from a file, then so you have to use that file variable, you have to use it. It will read the data from that particular file. Okay. If you want to read the data from the network, you can also read the data from the network also, we can read it. Okay. For that, you have to pass the network object has to be passed in. Right. So any questions over here?
సార్ రీడ్ మెథడ్ ఉండదు
Uh-huh.
ఫైల్ ఇప్పుడు రైట్ మెథడ్ ఉంది కదా సార్ ఫైల్
Mm.
దానికి సపరేట్ రీడ్ మెథడ్ ఉండదు సార్ స్కానర్ క్లాస్ లాగా
So you don't want to use the scanner class. So you want to use some other class. So you want to use file reader. You want to use. We can use the file reader. I'll just show you here. File reader class. Okay, I'm using the object fr is equal to new file reader. Okay, so you can go to the this one. So fr object dot, if you press it, now we have the method there, read. Now why I didn't use the read method of your fr object means because so we want to use the scanner class only, we want to use it. Okay, we want to check that we can use the scanner class to read the data from the keyboard, as well as we can use the scanner class to read the data from the file. As we know already the scanner class, so that's the reason why I have reused my scanner class there. So you can also understand how we are going to get the data from the file or how you are going to get the data from a keyboard. So both you are able to understand that. That's the reason why I have used my scanner class. So if you don't want to use the scanner class, you want to use only the file reader class you want to use. From the file reader class also you can make use of it. We have a method there available called read method is available for the file reader. Like your file writers, you are having write method is there. So like this, here we are going to have what? File reader is there. You can call that. Yeah. Okay, it's a 1 minute is there. So I'll stop the Zoom meeting here. So you just rejoin again. Okay. So let us continue the place where we stopped there. So as I was telling you that we can make the so file reader class, we can use it, and then we can call the read method can be called, or you can use the scanner class and then read the content as you wish. Okay, both the methods can be followed. So for writing the data, we are going to use the file writer class. For reading the data, we are going to use the file reader class. Okay. So you try out some examples, then you have any difficulties in doing things. So let me know, I'll help you out. Okay. Okay. Fine. You try to work with another example, like where I want to write, let us say, you want to write the multiple students data you want to write to the file. So for example, I want to write the name of the student, roll number, okay, marks in 3 subjects. So try this. So I want to write the student data. Okay, I want to write the student data to the file. So what is the data that I want to write? So name of the student. Okay, next I want to have roll number. Anything, I'll just take simple example I take. So the marks in 3 subjects. Okay, so I want to have the marks M1, M2, M3 marks has to be stored onto my file. So like this, I want to store it for 3 or 4 students as a wish. Okay, so you want to have 3 as you wish, you can have it. So I want to repeat for 3 students or 4 students. So you can use a for loop and then you can read it. Okay, try it, no issues, we'll discuss that. Then so write in the continuation program, you can say what you can write the continuation program. So I want to have the continuation program to read from the file, read the data from the file. Okay, so you'll try this. So try this one. So we'll discuss more on this and next class we'll discuss. Okay, so tomorrow we shall have a class or not? Tomorrow shall we have a class?
No problem.
Okay, we'll start the class now.